signing on behalf of the United States. And standing at attention behind him is General Wainwright, who was the general in charge at Corregidor. And he was prisoner of war all during World War II. And this gentleman is signing on behalf of Japan. This is Admiral Nimitz signing. And behind him is General Douglas MacArthur, and the next person on the right of MacArthur is Bull Halsey, who was very famous as far as being he had his headquarters on the USS New Jersey lots of times. This gentleman is signing on behalf of Russia. And this is a meeting between General MacArthur and Hirohito, who was the emperor of Japan. And this is the delegation that arrived aboard the Missouri for the surrender ceremonies. This is a picture of a truck that is powered by like a wood stove. They burn wood for fuel. Kind of smoky, but it worked. There's a picture of the General Douglas MacArthur coming out of his headquarters in Tokyo. His headquarters is in the Daiichi building, which was very close to our building, which was called the Meiji building. And this is his car. You see his 5 stars. He was one of the few 5-star generals, General MacArthur. We are about to have tea in a tea shop in Tokyo. It's my picture on the far right there, with the exclamation in the face. And here we are paying our bill at the tea house. I'm in my Army gear, as you can see. They made us Navy guys change our uniforms to Army gear while we're in Tokyo. I don't know why. And this is a young man carrying his baby brother or sister in the town of Hachiochi, very near Tokyo. And we're making fun of this sign here. It was all in Japanese, and we were pretending to read it. It's my picture there on the far right of the GIs there. And this is the shrine. I think it was the Pinto Shrine. And here we are shopping for kimonos in a store. The Imperial Hotel was designed and built by Frank Lloyd Wright. And this was very close to MacArthur's headquarters also. This is Imperial Hotel. And this is our Emperor Hirohito. He's exiting the railroad station in Tokyo, which is right opposite his imperial palace.
He's a prisoner of war at that time, correct?
He was a prisoner of war at that time, yes. And here I am in my Army outfit next to a Tokyo sign. They allowed us to have a Jeep on occasion to look around the countryside. And I couldn't resist the opportunity to ride on a rickshaw. Inside the railroad station, as I told you before, people were traveling all the time, trying to find their homes. These people were waiting for the next train. There's a little close-up of one of the young fellows that were right next to his baggage in the train station. This fellow's making I guess you call it a mortise, and he's getting ready to build his own home out of whatever material he could find. This is the town of Hachiochi, which is near Tokyo, and it's I don't know what the people were lined up for there. Probably food. This is a grandmother with her children there, grandchildren, having lunch. This is the town of Hachiochi, and it shows how they tried to live in most anything that they could build, and they had gardens and to raise whatever food that they could. Every inch of space was used when they could make it available. This is in Hachiochi again. That's Hal Vibey on the left and Dale Brandt on the right, passing out chewing gum or whatever gifts they could pass on to the kids. There's Hal Vibey with an appreciative young man about ready to receive some chewing gum. There's a mother and child. And after about 3 months doing this work, actually it was 2 months, we finished our job, and they gave us the opportunity, if we wanted it, to go down and look at Hiroshima. So we boarded a PBM airplane in Yokosuka Naval Base, which was just south of Yokohama, and flew down and passed over Nagasaki and landed in Sasebo Naval Base and went from there into Hiroshima. A PBM airplane is very similar to the PBY. It has 2 engines, and it floats in the water, and it's used for reconnaissance a lot. But it also made a convenience where they didn't have an airport right close by, so you could just land in the water and go ashore from there. This is in Hiroshima. A burned out tree and a burned out safe. And people were waiting waiting across the street there. The trains continue to run with the trolley cars in the downtown Hiroshima. This is a picture that is right near the center of the bomb when it landed in Hiroshima. The building on the right has the caged curved top, and you'll see another picture of that as it is today. And there it is. Today that building is a shrine, and you can see how Hiroshima has been rebuilt right along one of the 5 different streams that came right into town. This is the City Hall in Hiroshima, and I'm pictured on the back end of that Jeep. And here's a lady cleaning up her area in Hiroshima. And this picture was taken on T Bridge, and it is me that is holding the chewing gum, and the young man is going to give me that little dish and trade. He was bartering there. This is one of the nicest pictures that I've taken of the Mount Fujiyama. It's very prominent in the whole area down there of Tokyo Bay. We were provided transportation back to Tokyo by way of a train made up of several passenger cars. Each car on that train was packed to capacity with Japanese who had been relocated during the war. And I read later that there were about 5 million Japanese people who had moved out of the big cities